Hey there guys, BlackPanthaa here and welcome to a Need for Speed 2015 discussion video, and today we're going to be talking about Frostbite. Ah yes, the age-old argument that Frostbite made Rivals very bad. Well, you'd probably be right to be quite honest, because Frostbite led to a lot of issues with Need for Speed Rivals, and it has a couple of issues with other games as well, which I'll get into in a second, but Rivals was a mess and we all know that. An example would be when you were driving around on Rivals, the game would just randomly freeze. Well, no, it wouldn't freeze. You would freeze. The car would stop moving and everything else would keep going. The timers of time trials will keep going. The timers of races will keep going. The racers will drive past you. The cops will smash into you. Lots of things like this would continue to go on. But you've got to stay there for about 10 seconds while it decides to load the freaking next road. Another example is when you're driving to the snowy area, you can actually drive out of the barriers because the barriers hadn't loaded in by the time you got there at like 100 miles an hour, which is very, very slow. And then there's the constant flying through into the air and flying through to the floor and getting smashed and going a million miles away when you got tapped. And, you know, it's just so many stupid little things that Rivals just makes Frostbite look very unappealing. Another thing that really irritates me about Frostbite, every person I ask, every person I bring this comment up to, they're like, no, I don't notice that. No, what are you on about? If one person agrees with me here and says, oh yeah, I know what you mean, I will be so happy. But anyway, in Battlefield 4, for example, when you crash into something with a car, there is a long delay before the collision sound and the collision effect actually happens. I've noticed this in Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4, Bad Company 2, so many games like that. It's just really freaking weird. And it just irritates me slightly. Like, you smash something, and then 3 seconds later it does what should have happened as soon as you hit it. Anyway, moving back on topics, so that is the main reasons I kind of dislike Frostbite. But to be quite honest with you, am I happy that Need for Speed 2015 is going to use Frostbite? Yes, I am very happy that Need for Speed 2015 is using Frostbite. And I'll tell you why. So yeah, I have brought up in the past that Frostbite is a massive reason as to why Rivals didn't really run perfectly whatsoever. But the fact of the matter is the base engine is absolutely awesome. It does its job fantastically. Now, I've said that Frostbite is one of the main reasons as to why Rivals just ran like complete shite on many platforms, on every platform, and even on PC it wasn't very well optimized and they locked it at 30, and they had some stupid design flaw in the PC version where if you put it to 60 it would double speed, and yes, there's a fix around it and it's using lots of strings and all this bollocks, but honestly, you shouldn't have to do that. You should not have to do that. But I believe the reason they had to cut all these corners and the reason the game isn't very polished is not just because of the fact that it's using Frostbite. It's because they only had about 6 or 7 months to develop Need for Speed Rivals. They had to hire staff. They had to build up their studio. They had to make this game on PS3, 360, PS4, Xbox One, PC, in 6 months, and obviously they had to allow Frostbite to actually make racing games. They had to develop the base and then develop the physics and develop so many things on top of that just to get this whole thing moving. So that is where the 2-year development cycle of Need for Speed 2015 will definitely make Frostbite much more appetizing. It means they've had time to work on every tiny aspect of the engine to make sure everything works fine and the physics are actually, well, as racing game physics should be. So one thing I've got to really praise them for is the fact that Frostbite is very, very well optimized compared to a lot of games. Say, for example, on GTA at the moment, I'm having some issues. If you follow me on Twitter, I'm having some issues with getting that game to run as well as it should do. I'm getting about 50 frames a second on Ultra. Now, when I go over to, for example, Battlefield 4, I'm getting over 120 FPS stable on DirectX 11. That's not even with Mantle. With Mantle, I don't even know what the bloody thing is. Oh, Jesus Christ. I need to try that. For those that don't know, Frostbite actually got Mantle support pretty much before a lot of other people. AMD probably paid them to do it, but the fact is they actually got it very, very quickly in there, which is very, very awesome. Which means, hopefully, they'll have DirectX 12 support for the game very, very soon, which means so many more people will be able to run Need for Speed 2015 on lower capable hardware, if you've got Windows 10. It also means a smoother port across from PC and consoles. I won't go into what DirectX 12 is, because you'll probably find a million videos on that. And finally, Frostbite looks fantastic. You cannot deny Frostbite looks absolutely stunning in some situations. In Rivals still, on the PS4 version, which for some reason looks better than the PC version, especially with AA, but that's another story for another day. Frostbite games look fantastic and they just run well, so that's good enough for me. But let me know your thoughts on Frostbite down below. Do you believe they're going to get it right this time? Does it annoy you for the fact that they're using Frostbite? Personally now, I'm very much for Frostbite because it just runs perfectly as long as they get the physics right and it's not got that stupid weird Battlefield delay. People know what I mean. Just comment. Feel like I'm alone. Well, thank you ever so much for watching this video, guys. If you did enjoy, please hit the like button, subscribe if you are new for Need for Speed 2015 stuffs, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.